Good evening, everyone. Welcome to JAIIB CAIIB with CGB. Okay, so in this session, we will continue with all the MCQs that we were doing from the previous session. Okay, पिछले session में हम लोग BRBL के questions कर रहे थे, which are most important questions. We've done questions related to contract of guarantee and other chapters also. So इस session में we will be doing MCQs of contract of bailment, contract of pledge, as well as contract of agency. Okay, so these things we will be discussing in today's session. इसके MCQs हम लोग करेंगे. These are the most important MCQs that if you do all these sessions जहाँ पर हम MCQ format में we are trying to cover each and every chapter of BRBL module D. Okay, तो अभी module D हम लोग continue कर रहे हैं. We will complete module D and then we will shift to different modules of the BRBL paper. तो चलिए सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन से स्टार्ट करते हैं. According to the Indian Contracts Act 1872, which of the following is true regarding the return of goods in the bailment contract? तो bailment contract में आप सबको पता है, if we see the structure, so we have bailor, bailey जिसको आप सामान देते हो, you submit goods for temporary purpose, okay, which they have to return after some time period, obviously with a some aspect. जो क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछ रहा है बताइए. तो जब वो रिटर्न करेगा, what kind of things you need to make sure? Whether the good must be returned in the exact same form, good must be returned only in if the bailee chooses to do so, good can be returned after being transformed as long as they are identifiable, ownership of the goods is transferred to the bailee upon delivery, the bailee can sell the goods if they choose. What do you think is the correct answer? See, बाकी सारी चीजें तो obviously these things are wrong. The most important thing is that the good must be returned as per the agreement. जैसा agreement आपने किया है, जिस भी conditions में आप लोगों ने discuss किया है, when you were transferring the goods to the bailee, that is the true condition. So thereby the correct answer will be A. Here by mistake it is written C. A is the correct answer. चलिए. Next question. Which section of the Indian Contracts Act 1872 defines the term bailment? It's very simple. Section 148 of the Indian Contracts Act defines the term bailment. In the context of bailment, which of the following is not considered a type of delivery? That means this delivery of goods, whether we are talking over here or we are talking about the return, this delivery of goods is not present in the Contracts Act. In what form? किस form में हम लोगों ने delivery of goods की बात करी ही नहीं है Indian Contracts Act में? What do you think is the correct answer? Is it the actual delivery? Is it the constructive delivery, symbolic, involuntary, or virtual delivery? See, the key thing is that we want actual delivery to be happening during bailment. There is no concept of virtual delivery, and that's what the question asks, which of the following is not considered. So thereby E is the correct answer, because virtual delivery का कोई concept है ही नहीं. Virtual delivery क्या होता है? कुछ नहीं होता. Actual goods transferred होने चाहिए. Similarly, according to the Indian Constitution, which of the following sections specifically deals with bailor's duty to disclose faults? So whenever the bailor is transferring goods to the bailee, it is the responsibility of bailor to tell he is good mein, these are the various defects that you should keep in mind. And why is it important? क्योंकि जब बेली रिटर्न करेगा और फिर बेलर बोले ये डिफेक्ट्स दिख गए हैं गुड्स में, तो बेली ऑल्सो शुड ऑल्सो से ना कि यार ये डिफेक्ट्स तो पहले से ही थे. तो इट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ बेलर टू टेल that these defects exist before bailor transfer the goods to the bailee. But this same thing is dealt with in what section? Answer is B. Under section 150, bailor needs to disclose faults within the goods. Next thing, which of the following statement is true regarding the termination of bailment as per section 153 of the Indian Contracts Act. Termination ke regarding, what is the true statement? If you see the statements, the bailee can terminate the bailment at any time. कभी भी terminate कर सकता है क्या? Bailer can terminate the bailment if the bailee misuses the goods. The bailee is not liable for any misuse. गलत बात है. Termination can only occur if there is a return agreement. Minor irregularities by the bailee automatically trigger termination. अगर ऐसा करने लगे फिर तो सारे bailment terminate हो जाएंगे. The key thing is the bailer can terminate the bailment if the bailee misuses the goods. ठीक है? Safe keeping of the goods is the primary condition in the bailment contract. So that's why if you misuses the good, the contract of bailment can be terminated. Next question, what is the standard of care required by a bailee as per section 151? This is saying, जब भी आपको goods provide कर देता है bailor, so as a bailee, what is your responsibility with respect to taking care of the goods? So, is it higher than that of ordinary person, equivalent to the ordinary person, lower than that of ordinary person? The answer is B, equivalent to the care of a prudent person takes of their own similar goods. जिस तरीके से आप अपने सामान का ध्यान रखते हैं उसी तरीके से आपको जो भी गुड्स मिले ड्यूरिंग द बेलमेंट आप उसका ध्यान रखो. दैट इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ बेली एज पर सेक्शन 151. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाट राइट डज अ बेली हैव अंडर सेक्शन 170 इफ दे हैव प्रोवाइडेड अ सर्विस रिलेटेड टू द बेल्ड गुड्स? The correct answer is right to retain the goods until paid. क्योंकि आपने सर्विस प्रोवाइड करी है, ठीक है, तो सर्विस का पैसा मिलेगा. जब तक पैसा नहीं मिलेगा तो आप गुड रिटेन कर सकते हो. सिंपल सी बात है. If the bailee fails to return the bailed goods on time due to their own fault, under which section are they liable for any loss, destruction or deterioration of the goods? अगर टाइम से पेमेंट नहीं करी और उसके बाद अगर कोई डिस्ट्रक्शन हो गया तो under what section they are liable for any loss? So under section 161 they are liable for such loss. Next question, under section 163, what must the bailee do with any increase or profit from the bailed goods? जैसे आपको for example, see, the bailer gave to bailee a cow. Later on, the cow has a calf. So what do you do with this calf during return of payment? As per Indian Contract Act, you have to return both of them back to the bailer. So correct answer would be give it to the bailer. C is the correct answer. Okay. Next thing, if the proceeds of the sale of pledged goods exceed the amount due, what does the pawnee do according to section 176? The correct answer is B, return the surplus to the pawner. In case of default by the pawner, what actions can the pawnee take according to section 176? तो देखो ये same चीज है, especially when we talk in context of the banks. We have pawner and we have pawnee. Usually banks, ठीक है, pawner is any individual that is taking a loan. So if an individual is taking a loan, they are giving their goods as a pledge. So if the pawner is not able to pay back the loan, what is the right of this pawnee with respect to the goods? The correct answer is bring a suit against the pawner and retain goods as collateral security. Why cannot they sell the goods? They can sell the goods, but obviously with giving notice. Okay, not without notice. So that's why this option is incorrect. You can bring a suit, you can retain the goods, or you can even sell the goods, but you have to give proper notice to the owner. Okay, so that's why C is the correct answer. Which of the following is not an essential requirement for a valid contract of the pledge? See, simple सा है, pledge में delivery of the goods to be pledged is important, valid contract with all essential elements, correct? Pawnee possessing juristic rights over the pledge, very correct. Time of delivery coinciding with payment, that is not necessarily, ठीक है? Payment or delivery, they can be happening at a different date, so that's not an issue. So thereby D is the correct answer. This is not an essential condition. ठीक है? Here the options is incorrect. यहाँ D आएगा. Next is according to section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. Who among the following can act as an agent? A person under age of 18, incorrect. A person of unsound mind, जिसका दिमाग सही नहीं है तो obviously उसको भी आप नहीं करोगे. A person who is authorized to represent another in dealings with third parties, obviously correct answer है. ठीक है, चौथा ऑप्शन भी देख लेते हैं. A person who has not attained the age of majority, same thing, 18 का नहीं हुआ है, so C will be the correct answer. Which principle states that whatever a person can do personally shall also be allowed to be done through agent? Simple सा है, principle of representation. Principle of representation says जो मैं खुद कर सकता हूँ वो मैं किसी एजेंट के थ्रू भी करवा सकता हूँ, and that's why we have this contract of agency, isn't it? Because without this principle of representation, you would not be calling on an agent to do or to represent you in other aspects. Which section of the Indian Contract Act specifies that no consideration is needed to establish an agency contract? Simple सा है, the correct answer is 185. Here you need to remember different sections जो बोलते हैं and their key aspect. So section 185 says that you do not need a consideration to establish an agency contract. Under section 187 of the Indian Contract Act, which of the following types of authority allows an agent to infer their power from the usual way of doing business? मतलब explicitly नहीं लिखा है तो implicitly आप इस चीज को मान के चल रहे हो. On the basis of that, implied authority is what you are getting, because there is nothing written explicitly. तो express authority नहीं आएगा, implied authority आएगा, क्योंकि आप बोल रहे हो कि नॉर्मली यही होता है, तो नॉर्मली होता है तो मतलब आप मान के चल रहे हो ना, तो मान के चलना मतलब implied. Which section of the Indian contract specifies that an agent must personally perform tasks they have agreed to unless the custom of trade allows for a sub agent? मतलब आपको एजेंट आपने किसी को बनाया है तो उसको जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी है वो खुद ही करेगा, ये नहीं कि एक और एजेंट हायर कर ले, एक और सब एजेंट हायर कर ले, isn't it? So ये सेम बात किस सेक्शन में लिखी गई है? It is written in section 190 of the Indian Contracts Act. Under section 193 of the Indian Contract Act, what is the principal's liability if an agent appoints a sub-agent without proper authority? अगर एजेंट ने दूसरा एजेंट हायर कर लिया without asking principal authority, तो उस केस में जो principal authority है उसकी क्या liability बनती है? So the principal is liable. Principal is not represented by or responsible for sub-agent's action, क्योंकि उसने तो हायर किया नहीं है. The agent has hired sub-agent, तो liability principal की बनेगी नहीं. So think about this case scenario. So this is principal who has hired an agent to do work, but this agent has hired another sub-agent. तो इसके actions की liability will be on agent and not on principal. Okay, this is as per section 193. What type of ratification can be inferred from the conduct or behavior of the principal, even if it is not expressly stated? So the correct answer over here is implied ratification. ठीक है, अगर साफ साफ नहीं लिखा है तो मतलब आप मान के चल रहे हो. If it is expressly stated, तो express ratification होता. If an agent partially exercises their authority, under which section of the Indian Contract Act can the principal not revoke this authority concerning acts and obligation already performed? And here the correct answer is section 204. Under section 202, in which case is the agency not terminable to the detriment of the agent's interest? मतलब किस केस में आप एजेंसी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट टर्मिनेट नहीं कर सकते हो? And the correct answer over here is when the agent has a personal interest in the property involved. उस केस में नहीं कर सकते. And universal agent is characterized by, यूनिवर्सल एजेंट क्या क्या कर सकता है? देखो, यूनिवर्सैलिटी आपके अंदर आती है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू हाउ मच अमाउंट ऑफ डिफरेंट टास्क्स you can do. So unlimited authority to act on behalf of principal. ठीक है? जैसे मैं एक एजेंट को हायर करूँ, उसको बोलूँ तो जो करना है कर, मेरे बिहाफ पे जो करना है कर. So you have unlimited authority. You do not need to come and speak with me with respect to anything. You can take your own decision. Sometimes it happens कि ये काम खुद कर लो, दो काम की बात हो तो आप मेरे से परमिशन लो. So this is limited authority. जब उसके लिए मैंने छोड़ दिया तो that is unlimited authority. Which section of the Indian Contract Act mandates an agent to render proper accounts to the principal on demand? जब भी प्रिंसिपल मांगे आपसे अकाउंट तो किस सेक्शन में लिखा है कि एजेंट को फट से देना है वो अकाउंट? It says under section 213C. What right does a principal have if an agent conducts business for their own benefit without principal's consent? अगर एजेंट बिजनेस चला रहा है अपने पैसे के लिए बिना प्रिंसिपल से मांगे, उस केस में प्रिंसिपल्स के पास राइट क्या है? प्रिंसिपल कैन रिजेक्ट द ट्रांजैक्शन. लास्ट क्वेश्चन, अंडर व्हाट कंडीशन इज अ प्रिंसिपल ऑब्लिगेटेड टू इंडेमनिफाई एन एजेंट अगेंस्ट द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस ऑफ लॉफुल एक्ट्स? मतलब एजेंट के काम की वजह से उसको कोई नुकसान हो गया, ठीक है, तो एज अ प्रिंसिपल कब उसको कंपनसेट करेगा? तभी करेगा जब सारा काम वो लीगली कर रहा है, विद एन अथॉरिटी कर रहा है. कोई अथॉरिटी, जब मैंने आपको वो चीज़ अलाउ नहीं करी, आप उसके बाहर कुछ करोगे और फिर आपको दिक्कत होगी तो आप मेरे पास मत आइए. इजंट इट? आपको जितनी मैंने अथॉरिटी दी वो काम करने के चक्कर में आपको कोई नुकसान हो गया तो आपको पैसा कौन देगा? भरपाई कौन करेगा? मैं ही करूंगा. सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट यू सी, when the agent acts within the authority conferred by the principal, then only I will be obligated to indemnify an agent. If he goes beyond authority, obviously, why would I be indemnifying that agent? Isn't it? So that's what the correct answer is. So this is all for today. Okay. In this way, we have done 3 of the most important contracts. Okay. In the next session, we'll again do the next chapters in the module D of paper 4 BRBL. Okay. So thank you guys for joining. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, keep revising these things. Thank you.